How much money will it take you to live in Las Vegas in 2024? This is Alex Rivlin with the Rivlin Group, and we're going to go over exactly what it would cost to live in Las Vegas in 2024. So the first cost that we're going to go over, which is near and dear to my heart because it's my business after all, is real estate. What does real estate cost to live in Las Vegas? Well, you've got a variety of different real estate, from rents to condos and townhomes, right up to your single-family residences and the luxury residences that we have here. The median cost of a single-family home in the Las Vegas area is $460,000. And if you're looking in the Henderson area, you're more in the $495,000 range. And then in Summerlin, specifically within Las Vegas, you're looking more about the $515,000 range. So you've got a variety of ranges there for that median home price. The average home prices come up a bit above that. And again, we're talking about single family residences. So if you're looking at condos and townhomes, they could drop down a bit below that in the $200,000 and $300,000 range. So you could certainly get into a condo, townhome, or even single family residence in a pretty economical way here in the Las Vegas area. When it comes to rents, there is also a variety of rents. I know people that are in 2-bedroom apartments down in the $600 to $800 range, and I know many that are in the $1,000 to $1,500 range. However, you can get some of the newer apartments with the amenities of modern conveniences, quartz countertops, beautiful cabinets, luxury vinyl plank flooring, and those can go anywhere from $1,800 all the way up to about $2,500. So you do have a variety in the rental market as well, and you can even get things a bit more than that and rent some single family homes all the way up to the luxury homes, where I've seen rents go all the way up into the 5-figure zones, $25,000, $30,000 for a beautiful new home in some of the most prestigious communities here in town. When we're talking about prices of homes, there are some exciting homes that have sold here in the Vegas Valley, and they have brought in all walks of life and all walks of wealth. As you probably know, Mark Wahlberg is calling Las Vegas home now, and so many others. The biggest sale that we had in 2023 was $25 million for a compound that actually has 107,000 square feet of living space. That was the Prince of Brunei's home that sold in the community of Spanish Trails. Now, there were some other magnificent sales, however, none quite as large as that in regards to the square footage. There were many, many other multi-million-dollar sales, along with our normal averages and median home sales as well. Ultimately, there were 29,000 resale homes that sold, and then there was a plethora of new homes that were built and sold as well in 2023. That covers real estate. Now we're going to move on to the next thing that you're pretty much always going to have to pay, which is utilities. So we've got a variety of different utilities, and the number one being your power bill. Now, there is a lot of solar and a lot of options to save money on your utilities, and solar being one of them. There's a ton of solar leases, as well as the ability to purchase solar on payment plans. That could definitely lower your electricity bill. That said, while power has continued to go up, it's still not an outrageous expense here in the Las Vegas area. Now, the next thing, and the one that people ask the most about, is water, because most people think we're running out of water. Well, I'm going to calm your senses a little bit on that, because we've already forecasted out for the population growth and the continued building and water usage that we're going to have all the way through 2050. And we're not in a panic situation yet, and they're already looking at alternatives and ways to get more water to our valley, even if we end up in a drought. Now, the good news is we had a good water year last year. We had heavy snowfall in the Rockies, and Lake Mead actually went up quite a bit, and even more than they expected it to go up. So that definitely bought us a few more years when it comes to our reservoir and what we use in Lake Mead. However, the water is somewhat expensive when it comes to the overall cost of water in a lot of different areas that maybe have more abundant water. Now, it's not completely crazy or off the charts. I live in a fairly good sized home. There's 3 of us there full time. I have a pool. I don't have grass anymore, so that's a benefit. And my water bill typically ranges in the $120 to about $200 per month range, though I know many that are quite a bit lower. So I would say on average, you're looking at somewhere between $80 and $100 a month for a water bill. Next up, gas. Most of the homes here have natural gas, and that's what powers their heating system, their stove. If you've got a pool or a spa, the heater for the pool and the spa, your hot water heater, so on and so forth. And natural gas, just like anywhere, has gone up quite a bit. An average natural gas bill will run you right around $100 as well. Again, this varies based on the size of your family, how many showers are happening, how many times you're doing wash and using the dryer, and ultimately how much gas you use. The next thing we're going to talk about is home services. So if you are a homeowner and not a renter, there are certain home services that you may or may not need, such as landscaping and pool service. The average landscaping bill is going to run you somewhere from $75 to about $150, depending on exactly how elaborate your landscaping is and how much time that landscaper is going to need to be there. As for pools, pool services run anywhere from $90 to about $150, and it's almost all-inclusive regardless of how big your pool is, unless you have something way, way, way out of the ordinary. Transportation costs are going to be the next item that we're going to review. Pretty much across the board, you see that vehicle prices are about the same. When it comes to used cars or new cars, they stay pretty steady. So you don't see a big difference between Las Vegas and any other areas in the US. However, if you are in the market to buy a used car, and you're going to go to a private party to buy that used car, there's one huge benefit that is offered in the state of Nevada, and that is that you don't pay sales tax when you're buying a used car, as long as it is a car that was already registered in Nevada. Now, with that car that you're going to buy, you're going to have registration. Now, Nevada has to make some money somewhere, because we're going to get to it in a few minutes. We don't have state income tax, which is a huge, huge benefit. However, they do have some fees that are a little higher here than in many other states. Now, while we don't have a major mass transit system like a subway system or a BART or an elevated train, we do have a lot in the way of taxi cabs and Ubers. Now, the taxi cabs typically stay around the resort corridor. Once Uber moved in, it wasn't as beneficial for the taxi cabs to go on longer haul rides out to the suburbs like Summerlin and Henderson and the Northwest and even the Southwest. So they stay typically more around the Strip and the resort corridor, catering to tourists. However, ride-share companies like Uber and Lyft are prevalent everywhere, and it's very, very easy to get a ride around. And it's also very inexpensive. I can go from one side of town to the other for about $30. There's no rides that get crazy expensive, unless, of course, we're in a serious demand situation like one on New Year's Eve, or what's probably going to happen when the Super Bowl comes here. Yes, the Super Bowl is coming here. Don't forget about all the excitement around Vegas. When the Super Bowl comes here, though, we will likely see some surge pricing, and when surge pricing happens, yeah, well, you're going to pay more for that ride. Now let's talk about private schools and daycare. There are a lot of great private schools here, some that are amazing for sports, some that are amazing for education, some that are amazing for vocation, and those private schools range in price anywhere from $5,000 all the way up to about $15,000 a year. So if you wanted to send your child to Bishop Gorman because they're an absolutely great ball player and you want to make sure that the scouts are seeing what they're doing, you're going to pay those higher dollars, about $15,000 a year or so. So you've got that. Now, daycare varies just as much. However, the great news is if you're going to work in gaming, if you're going to work in hospitality, if you're going to work at one of the resorts on the Strip, many of the Strip resorts provide daycare to their employees at a dramatically reduced price. So MGM Resorts certainly has daycare. Las Vegas Sands, that's the Venetian and Palazzo, they've had daycare in the past as well. So you really have opportunities around Daycare if you're planning on moving here to work within the hospitality industry. Now you've got your other bills such as gym memberships, cell phones, personal care. Maybe you want to go get your nails or hair done. You might want to go get a massage. For the men, you want to get a nice shave and get groomed well. And those services are pretty much average across the board with anywhere else that you would go in the country. So you're going to have anywhere from $0 to maybe a couple $100 in expenses on those ancillary items. Now let's move on to some exciting stuff. Back to Super Bowl talk, food and entertainment. Now, food and entertainment here in Vegas has blown up. It has blown up in such an amazing way. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I've lived here for 30 years, and when I first moved here, it was a serious deal to get steak and lobster for $9.99 or $19.99, and it was good. It was good food. This was not like a little piece of sirloin. It wasn't a Hungry Man meal with a couple droppings of lobster on the top of it. It was actually a great meal. That was back when the casinos didn't care about how much money they made in food and beverage and how much money they made in hotel operations. They cared only about gaming, and everything else was subsidized by gaming. And that was their loss leader. Let me get you in on steak and lobster and have you play a few bucks at the table, lose some money there, and we're still making money. Well, as it got more and more corporate, they've decided to have every single leg of the property run like a business unto themselves, and they're all expected to make a profit. So they've brought in celebrity chefs and amazing food, so there isn't too many places with a steak and lobster special at $9.99 or $19.99 anymore. So you can definitely spend a lot of money on food here. However, it's all within reason and what you want to do. Now, as for entertainment, it's the same thing. You can get some great entertainment for free by going down to Fremont and seeing bands play and just standing outside, to going to Container Park or First Fridays. There are so many things to do here that are no charge at all. You can entertain yourself through recreation and go to Red Rock or Lake Mead, and while there are some entrance fees as a national park, they're pretty nominal. And then there are some outskirts like Calico Basin up in Red Rock or just outside of Red Rock that you could go to and get in for free. So there are endless opportunities and possibilities when it comes to entertainment. We have some of the best artists in the world coming here, from Taylor Swift to BTS to Post Malone to Billy Joel. And those tickets can range quite a bit in price. However, oftentimes they are affordable, and there is a ton of entertainment at your fingertips. We have the champions here for the WNBA, the Las Vegas Aces, 2 years back-to-back champions. You can get to an Aces game for extremely reasonable prices. Then you've got our beloved Las Vegas Golden Knights hockey team. Now, if you're out there in San Jose and you're going, Sharks or Anaheim, and going Ducks, sorry. Las Vegas is where it's at, and the Vegas Golden Knights, I even have Nikes that are Vegas Golden Knights colors just for the games. So you're not going to stop me with my love for the Golden Knights. They're pretty amazing. And did I mention Stanley Cup champions too? You can get Golden Knights tickets on the resale market, and it is known as the most expensive ticket in the NHL. However, they're still not too crazy, depending on exactly what game you go to and what seats you're looking for. You can get some pretty good deals. And if you go to Hyde, the club within T-Mobile, on the top floor, the 5th floor there, you can actually get them very reasonable in that $30 range. So get in there, get in the atmosphere. It is certainly the highest energy in all of the NHL. I've had friends come from Canada. I've had friends that are New York Rangers fans, Boston Bruins fans, and they all come here and say, this place is amazing. I've got to tell you, no matter what, whether I love them or hate them as a team, the time here is just amazing. So, if you are a Blackhawks fan or a Canucks fan or a Rangers fan or a Predators fan or a Stars fan, you can come here and have an amazing time. And then you've got the Raiders, Allegiant Stadium, and now the Super Bowl coming. Now I'm going to tell you, when it comes to entertainment, the Super Bowl, yeah, I couldn't do it. They told me that it would cost me $22,000 a ticket to buy the same seats that I have for the regular games. Now, regular games, a lot of times, if you wait till that last day, you're going to see the tickets sell for below face value. Now, there's only a secondary market on the tickets because every single seat of the 65,000 seats in Allegiant Stadium is owned. It is a season ticket. So there are no sales directly from the Raiders. It's all the secondary market. Ticketmaster or StubHub has them, and they are pretty reasonable. Overall, when it comes to food and entertainment, you could spend every penny in your paycheck, spend all the money in your bank account, or you could keep it really, really reasonable and still have an amazing time living here in Vegas and going out and eating and having great entertainment on almost a daily basis. And I saved the best for last. I saved the most exciting topic, the thing that everybody wants to talk about: taxes. Wah, wah, wah. As you may or may not know, we don't have state income taxes. So if you're out there in California and paying 8 or 12 or 13% in income taxes, or again, New York or any other state that has state income taxes, you're going to keep a whole lot more money in your pocket if you're living here in Las Vegas. That is a huge benefit, and by the way, will fund a lot of that food and entertainment, maybe a nicer house, or cover that registration cost on that new car. Taxes are our nemesis, right? We don't love taxes, I know. I talked you into this exciting topic about something we really don't like, right? We're not usually a fan of taxes. They have to be paid. It's necessary. We get a lot of benefits. We have paved roads as a result of taxes. However, the less we could pay, the better in most cases, right? Now, there are other things aside from income tax. There's sales tax, and we have a fairly normal rate for sales tax at just below 8.5%. And then there are some fees on other things that could be considered taxes, like business licenses. There's unemployment insurance if you're an employer. There's a few other items when it comes to taxes. And let's not forget what I started this episode with: real estate. Property taxes. Property taxes here are pretty amazing for two separate reasons. One, they typically range from about 0.6% to 1% of the property value. So if you have a $500,000 property, you're going to be paying anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 in taxes based on what the assessed value was when the home was built. Now that brings me to the second awesome thing about our property taxes here, and that is the values are not reassessed based on the purchase price of the home. They are reassessed on an annual basis based on depreciation of the improvements, meaning the home built on the property, and appreciation of the land. Now, when you buy a home, if that home was originally a $300,000 house and now it's an $800,000 house, the taxes are not reassessed based on that property. They were still assessed based on the $300,000 with that appreciation and depreciation. So if the person that you were buying the home from was paying, say, $3,800 in taxes, you're taking it over at $3,800. And when it renews, it's going to go up based on that with a 3% maximum cap if it's a primary residence, and an 8% if it's a secondary or investment residence. That means on $3,800, you're basically going to go up a little bit under $120. I think $114 to be exact if it's your primary residence. So now you're at $3,900, whereas many other communities, and a lot of them in California, reassess the value of the home. So if it was $300,000 and it was $3,800, when the prior owner purchased it, and that's what the tax basis was, when you purchase it at $800,000, it's likely going to go up to $8,000 and change. We don't have that here. So you get to save a ton of money on not only income taxes, but property taxes as well. All in all, the average single person can live here in Las Vegas for somewhere between $2,500 and $4,500 a month. And the average family of four can live here in Las Vegas for $5,500 to $8,000 a month. Now, it really depends on how fancy you want to be, because it could certainly cost a lot more than that. I know people that spend tens of thousands of dollars living here. They also have multi-million-dollar homes, eat out on a regular basis at the fanciest restaurants, and sit at the 50-yard line at the Raiders games. So it's your choice in the end. However, it's a really reasonable and affordable place to live. And if you are looking to live here and have any questions about real estate, about cost of living, really anything that has to do with Las Vegas, please pick up the phone, give me a call, put a comment below, or email me at the email in the comments below. My phone number's down there too. I would love to hear from you and help you on your journey for moving or relocating to Vegas.